Continuing on here on the floor of New York Comic Con. I forget what day it is. There's too many days. It's too long. You lose track of space, time, relevancy. You have no idea. You're just walking around in sort of a zombie-like state. It's hot, it's cold, both at the same time, and you're trying not to touch everybody, yet everybody is touching you. It's a real paradox in this place. But it's times like this when you find really cool people to talk to and hang out with, and this is one of them, J.P. Karliak. Now, this is a man you may know from the X-Men 97 series that just came out. Fantastic series, by the way. We'll get into that in a second. But I just want to run down for the audience some of the other credits that people may not know about you. You've done a plethora of voices for Despicable Me 4, the Castlevania series, which is a favorite of mine. Mm-hmm. You took over the Alec Baldwin role in a bunch of the Baby Boss series that came out.
Baby, yeah.
You were Reese in the Batman Killing Joke, and this one you were the Joker in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
That was a game everyone was looking forward to. It's like, wait, we could be the villains and we're killing all the good guys? We have to get this game. How much fun is it to do video games?
It's a lot of fun, and it's a different muscle. You know, I come from doing mostly animation, where you're just reading a script, much like you would read a radio play. But video games, you're reading a spreadsheet, and it's really about your work with the director, giving you context, setting up the scenario for you. Not to mention all of the efforts and stabs, explosions, jumps, and all of that stuff. So it's a very energetic and fun medium.
And you're no stranger to video games too. I mean, besides from that, Starfield, massive game. You're in a lot of great properties. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, The Last of Us 2, Halo Infinite, we just said Red Dead Redemption 2, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy. You've done it all, and you're not even close to being done yet.
I hope not.
No, not at all. But of course, X-Men 97 is where everybody currently knows you from. What was it like getting cast for that and then seeing how it explode? Like, it was already a popular series. People were so excited that it was coming back, and to see it explode even more for not just the older generation that grew up with it, watching it, but the newer generation checking it out and also loving it.
I mean, I think that was the most unexpected thing. Not that we thought the series would be bad, but we knew that it was going to resonate with the fans from the 90s. We knew that we had that responsibility to live up to the original series. But the fact that it so surpassed it and surpassed all expectations, it's grounded, yet it still has all of the fun of the original. It hits on so many adult themes, but yet is still friendly for kids. It really hits on so many levels that I think the fans were so excited that not only could they rewatch it and feel that they're a part of their childhood, but also bring in their kids who are now watching it. So, yeah, it was both a shock and yet completely expected, I guess, in a way.
I think it was a much needed shot in the arm for Marvel, because they were putting out a lot of things, and not a lot of them were hitting. Like, the fan criticism, sometimes ratings, box offices weren't where they wanted it to be. X-Men 97 comes out, and across the board, everyone is like, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, this is the year of the X-Men. Between Deadpool and Wolverine and X-Men 97, I think it's really shown that people are hungry for the mutant rebellion. So, yeah.
Do you have any expectations of seeing Morph translate to the big screen when they do finally fully introduce all the mutants in the X-Men saga?
I mean, we'll see. I don't know if I'll be the one doing it, but in whatever iteration Morph...
Well, let's not put ourselves down here. There's always a
No.
possibility.
I'm usually very comfortable behind the mic. But yeah, whatever iteration Morph might appear on the big screen, I'm excited about it.
Another thing that was very unique to the X-Men 97 property was the fact that, and you see it now with a lot of different franchises, it's a weird time because people, if anything deviates just the slightest from the original source material, people are losing their shit before the thing even comes out. They're trashing it, they're panning it, they're review bombing, whatever you want to call it. It happened a little bit with X-Men 97 when they announced that Morph was non-binary. Mm-hmm. And people, up in arms. The show comes out, people are watching it, and everyone goes, oh yeah, this is nothing. This is no big deal. And it was never spoken about again for X-Men 97, but other properties still seem to have this. What did X-Men do right that the other properties could learn from?
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with saying it overtly in a series. We're just not, and part of it honestly has to do with that the show takes place in the 90s. The term non-binary, even though certainly non-binary people have existed for, hundreds of years, since the beginning of time, the term non-binary wasn't used until the 2000s. So I think Morph is on a gender journey, coming to terms with who they are. I think where we succeed, where others have failed, is that it's authentically cast. I'm a genderqueer person myself. A lot of the writers are queer themselves, so it's coming from an authentic place where, even though we're not specifically saying anything or having a very special non-binary episode, anybody who's queer can feel the authenticity and can feel like those little intangible things that make it feel authentic. In the same way that anybody going to see Black Panther, even though Wakanda is not an actual country,
it's not.
Sorry.
I was lied to so many times.
Maybe it is. It's hidden, in the.
That is true.
Yeah, but there's that intangible authenticity about it, that whether you're a part of the Black community or even if you're not, you sense it, you feel it. It's so rich and has depth, and I think that's where we succeed. Whereas other properties might say, hey, we have a non-binary character, and maybe they authentically cast it, but they've done none of the work, none of the backstory that's authentically fits it, so it just feels slapped on for like a diversity checkpoint.
Yeah, so sometimes they put something in there, like you said, like a checkpoint, but it's not grounded, there's no real base on it. It's like, well, this makes sense for that character or this storyline to be this way because here's the whole backstory, here's the how the character is going to evolve and what it's doing, and then you go, all right, I'm piecing all this together over, like if it's an episodic series.
Yeah. You
need some time to build the story. It's not like you're going to get everything in a 90-minute movie in a one episode of a television show.
Exactly, and what I think studios need to understand is that if it's not going to resonate with the community it's supposed to represent, it actually won't resonate with the larger human race, because we're all human beings and we all know fake when we see it. So,
I can't even imagine that when they're putting something out, because it's hard to tell sometimes. You're thinking sometimes it's good intentions. Other times you go, is the studio just pandering, or is this a cash grab thing? Because they're not really explaining. And like you said, the community it's supposed to represent is not happy. You can't deal with the other people who aren't happy with this. So you have no basis to go on, and then you're like, well, you're kind of stuck now. What do you do?
And I mean, exactly as you said before, we had all of this uprising before the show actually came out. But once people saw it was excellent, even if people were still shouting about it, saying it's woke, blah, 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 the excitement drowned all of that out. And so I think the lesson here is that authenticity and excellence always will drown out any of the haters. So just go for gold.
And with X-Men, you can't go wrong, because it always was about that since
always.
The very beginning. I mean, it was about gender and sexual choice and
the
also
civil rights
racism,
era.
And all that stuff. It had all of that stuff in there, which I think today a lot of people forget the origin stories. Like, Wolverine's cool when he's killing and slashing things, and you go, but look at the rest, like a Storm's backstory and Charles, and looking at some of these other things, and you go,
Charles and Magneto.
See where it all came from? Do you understand this?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's all woke shit now, and you go, since the 60s. Like, how are you not seeing that?
Charles and Magneto were always an allegory for MLK and Malcolm X. That's canon.
Yeah. We're excited. We're waiting for more X-Men 97. We know a second season's coming.
Yes, it is.
Have you done anything for it yet, or has that not started? Okay,
no, we've been doing it for a while. But much like the first season, I think it's all about just honing it, getting it right, and I think we've got some really exciting stuff, none of which I can talk about.
No, I know.
In store for the next one.
Yeah. Well, besides from X-Men, you have another project coming up here, which I'm going to say, this next property, it was here before we got here. It'll be here long after we got here. The Smurfs is back again with another Smurfs movie's coming out, and you're cast in there. We don't know your role yet. Has that been announced or no?
Not yet. I think the trailer will probably come out sometime next year, and all will be revealed. Super exciting.
Full animated, half and half, like the other ones were CGI and real life?
I think I could say it's mostly animated. There's a whole bunch of surprises in it, I think.
Okay.
Is the way I can put it right now. But it's executive produced by Rihanna. Rihanna. She plays Smurfette. She's also wrote a lot of the music for it. It's it's a really, really fun concept.
That's the way to do it. It's like, I want to be in a Smurfs movie, and if you've got that kind of pull, I'll write the soundtrack for it. Great, you can be whoever you want in the movie, and you want to produce it.
Can be every
you can
Smurf,
produce whatever you want to do with it. Good for Rihanna. I know the trailer's still to come, but there's no information at all about what the synopsis of the story is, right?
Nothing. All under wraps. Yeah.
All right, so you're busy with, you got another X-Men season coming, you got a Smurfs movie coming. I'm seeing this pretty cool shirt that you're wearing right here. This is the Nerds Vote thing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Nerds Vote is an organization founded by me and my voiceover partner in crime, Courtney Taylor, who you might know from games like Fallout or Mass Effect. Courtney and I felt that we needed to bring voter registration opportunities to con-goers, comic book readers, cosplayers, gamers, and pop culture fans of all kinds, aka nerds. And so we...
Oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah,
now I get it. Now you draw the lines.
So basically,
together.
everybody's a nerd. If you have a thing you're a fan of and you're passionate about it, you're a nerd, and that is not a bad thing. So yeah, we've just been reaching out at Comic-Cons like this, encouraging people to vote. We're nonpartisan, but for us, it's just the most important thing is just people exercising their civic duty. So we've been doing it since 2017, and there's a tiny election that's happening this year.
Well, I was going to bring that up, so, since that's what you're advocating for here, and it's a very important election. It's I think at this point we're like 16 days away from it.
Oh my God.
It's very close. I've been calling this because it's been so... Politics has been so wrestling related for the last year. It's like we're building the road to WrestleMania, if you understand that kind of reference to it.
The Royal Rumble.
But you would think a place like this would be a great opportunity, not for the political parties to set up, but the advocacies, the nonprofit groups for voter registration. You'd think they'd have something here set up, and they don't.
One of the big things that we always ran into were Comic-Cons are just really adverse to having any type of political action, even if it is nonpartisan, like just regular old voter registration. Sometimes they'll allow a group to set up in the dark corner of way far off. So for us, instead of trying to just set up a voter registration booth, which people might see or might not, what we do is we try to get the quote-unquote notable nerds that everybody's a fan of to have some of our stickers and if somebody like your favorite voiceover artist or somebody that you loved from a TV series was so glad to meet you and was like, hey, by the way, I think you should vote this year. It might make an impact, especially if you're a young kid who's never voted before, you're turning 18. It might feel like, oh, wow, Wolverine or Wonder Woman told me to vote. I should do that. So we're that's the way we do it. We use our army of notable nerds to put the word out.
Finally, I wanted to talk to you about this other thing that you're working on, the Queer Vox Academy. Tell me about that.
I started Queer Vox in 2021. It's a nonprofit academy and community for LGBTQIA plus voice actors. And basically, we're an online community. We offer classes, and workshops and panels. We have an online talent directory that's accessed by casting around the country. And we also do outreach within the industry to get them not only to understand why authentic casting is important, but how to do it right.
Where can people go to check this out? Is there a website? Is there social media content?
Yeah. So for Queer Vox, queervox.org. VOX, Nerds Vote is nerdsvote.com.
All right, there we go. I was just checking my list to make sure we got everything because I don't want to take up all your time here. JP, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming to hang out. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you too.